Yeah, yeah, cut off apparently, but yeah, the last panel is Zuko and Aang. Well, Aang is talking to the fan club and they're making the air acolytes. Zuko meets with Azula, and the end of the book is basically saying like, "Help me find mom." Um, yeah, so that's from this part um, two. Um, yeah. I'm just gonna title this video "Promise Review" since I did get cut off. So um, yeah. So just so if you haven't seen all the covers, Promise Part One, nice. Promise Part Two, also nice. And Promise Part Three. All in all, I'd say 7.5 out of 10. Maybe 8, because the problem that I had with this series is like it wasn't badly written. It's just like I don't feel like we got enough. We got like information that sets up things, but we don't need any more setting up. Like like all like the entire war and the whole downfall of the restoration movement could have been done in part one. Part two I thought could have been more beginnings of the air acolytes, and part three I think could have been the beginnings of Republic City and the establishment of the United Republic of Nations government. Um, that's what I thought they should have done. Like part one is basically that. Basically, they could have done all of part three, all three parts in part one, and yeah, basically yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll summarize again. Part one should have been pretty much all of Promise. Part two should have been the beginnings of the Air Acolytes, and um, yeah, it should have been the beginnings of the Air Acolytes, and you could have done the Metal Betting Academy. And part three should have been the beginning of the United Republic of Nations Council and the establishment of the government there. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8. That's a pretty high rating. I'm very even tempted to say 6.5, but I'm not going to. 7.5, 8. I'll say 8. That's pretty nice. So yeah. On this part, apparently they're releasing all the books in one giant book. I hate when they do that because it's not fair. I can understand it if it was like a long kind of issue like 20 issues, but this is 3 parts. This is like what they do. They release part 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe if there's a 4. If you hear that, my phone's ringing. I'm sorry. Hopefully my sister picks it up. Yeah. So yeah, this easily could have been this one giant graphic novel. They didn't need to break this up. You break it up with the 3 milk people out of their money, and then like apparently they're releasing like I think like the combined portions like at the end of this year or the end beginning of next year. Yeah, so because it says here the final chapter, part 3 I think was part 2 had the least content, but part 3 was content that I already knew was going to happen. Because if you read parts 1 and 2, like you know what's going to happen. Like with the knowledge of part 1 and 2 and the Legend of Korra, like part 3 is predictable, and it really is. Like there was nothing in here that I wouldn't like. There was nothing here you couldn't already have figured out if you had seen the Legend of Korra and read part 1 and 2. So part 3 I think was the weakest in Revelations. Part 2 was the weakest in like content, because like part 2 was really just a bunch of filler. It really was. Like the whole Metal Betting Academy stuff had been cut in half. We could have gotten more like political stuff. Like I thought I like political stuff, and they do it in a way that's entertaining in this. The Search is coming out in March of 2013. Like you know they're gonna take their sweet time doing this, and then I know what they're gonna do. They want to milk this in for all it's worth. I'm making a prediction in season 3 of the Legend of Korra. That's when we're gonna get like all of this animated. Because I seriously thought they wouldn't animate this. Like they what they want to do is like they want to milk the Search, and I think they might even milk like another like there's gonna be another trilogy, the Search Part One. Um, yeah, they're gonna milk it in like Search Part One comes out in March. I think another 3 months later, Part Two will come out. Like I'm guessing, I'm speculating. So April, May, June. Yeah, June would be Part Two, and another 3 months. So July, like September. So basically, for the span of March, June, and September, that's when they're going to release them. Because they're going to try to milk this in, and then they're going to try and do season 3 and 4. Maybe season 3 might have it. Most likely season 4 will have this animated. I'm making since I still have a lot of more. I still have a lot of time. I'm gonna throw in a few predictions right now. In part 3, when Zuko's talking with Aang, he says he hired June to hunt for Ursa. He says that they could not find him. So I know one of two things. She is not in the spirit world, and she is not dead. That right now, I can already and my phone is ringing again if you can hear it. Yeah. Ursa is not dead, and well, we knew like that was revealed by Ozai. Like she's not dead, and she's not in the spirit world either. Because if she was in the spirit world, wouldn't she be dead to be in the spirit world? Well, you can meditate, and I mean, I went there, but wouldn't her body still be in the physical plane? And could it still be found? Yeah. She's probably I think she's in like the place like she's in like the plane of existence that Aang was in on the lion turtle. I don't think she's with the lion turtle, but I think she's in like this kind of almost limbo. And I'm making another prediction. I'm calling that wherever Ursa is, that's where Aang finds the bison and the flying lemurs. That I feel like that is the only two things that I really need to explain. Where Aang finds the bison and lemurs and where Ursa is. And I'm thinking they're going to be in the same park because if you look at the cover page of Part 1, it shows that, well, you read it on like the Avatar Wiki, but Aang and Zuko are searching. So why would Aang come along if nothing happens that relates to him? So yeah. Aang comes along. I think the first couple panels is going to be the beginning of the Acolyte in the Search Part 1. We don't need any more like metal bending stuff. Like we got pretty much all of that. Like you can show like 1 or 2 panels, but have it like be like 20, like maybe 20 or 100 students instead of just being like a couple, like the 3 that we saw. Yeah, Ursa is. I'm thinking where the Sky Bison are, she's caring for them, and I don't know where else what else we could possibly like find out. Can we get Cohen's? Like, I want to see Ko again. Ko the Face Sitter, I definitely want to see. I hope we get like kind of like the foreshadowing of the Dark Spirit. I thought we'll get that, but I can dream, can't I? I hope we get to see like kind of like Roku, like Aang reconciling with Roku because like the way they ended it, I felt was like really awesome. Excuse my French, but it really was like that. I don't like they didn't care. They got no resolution. In fact, they started like the actual conflict between them. So I think Aang definitely needs to get some reconciling with Zuko. And this is supposed to be like a spirit world thing, so the spiritual plane. The origin of the Avatar is apparently going to be in Justin Part 3. So I doubt we'll get anything like that. I also want to see Aang talk with like Gyatso. That I want to see. I want to see Aang talk to Gyatso and basically kind of like that's like the one thing I think we never got closure on in any like all the series and all like the video games, all of the printed material that they released. We never got closure about Aang finally like reconciling with Gyatso. I would say that Aang could Gyatso says to basically Aang that although like something along the lines like although like the air nomads are gone and they will never be the same again, but I want you to continue our legacy and continue the march of us. I want like Aang probably won't say something not propagandic like the march of our civilization, but yeah, continue like the lineage of our people through the air athletics, which and like we're not mad at you. It's all right. That's like what I want to say. So yeah. What else? I still have a lot more time. So, I really don't have anything else to say. Oh, I actually kind of like, I actually have a prediction. I want to make a couple of predictions for Legend Car. I'm making a prediction. Bolin falls in love with the Dark Spirit. That I'm making a prediction of. I'm calling either one of Kaya or Ruby's kids will be an airbender. I think we need another airbender. And probably one that's kind of in like the age range of Korra. Not for any like romantic. I actually want an airbender to date Asami. Simply because like I've always had like this. I had this like kind of like where I want to happen. I would call this character that I'm like thinking of is something like I personally would want. This guy, I doubt it will happen, but again, basically, I saw to meet this guy. I'm gonna call him Temujin for the purpose of this video. He meets up with Temujin, and I would kind of play him off as kind of like, I wouldn't say fast and loose, but kind of like not even a bad way, but just kind of like a trigger happy kind of like fighter. He could be a non-bender. No, make him an airbender, but make him in like he could be an airbender, but make him in such a way that he doesn't like airbending because he feels like it's kind of like a contradiction of his personality. Like he's kind of like a trigger happy kind of fighter, and airbending is like the element of pacifist. Really, that's pretty much what it is. Play him off like that. I would have him be kind of like snarky. Have him like say some stuff along the lines of let's say like he gets into a fight with a fighter and he says like have a firebender say something like, play with fire and you might get burned, and have him, like, Temujin and Rashawn, like, play with me and you might die. Like, something really, like, just, like, hardcore like that. That's what I want, because we need more hardcore characters in this. I love hardcore characters. He doesn't have to be evil. He can be kind of like, I would say kind of like a softie. At least towards Jujori and, like, Iggy and Milo, like can play off with a softie. So that's what I want. Dark Spirit, origin of the Avatar prediction. Basically the world's created. Expanded into I don't even like the spirit. Like 3 spirits came together, or 4 spirits. Or any number of spirits really. Came together. Created the world, the people. When bending began to be introduced, the Avatar was created as the guardian of the earth, and he's the spirit of the world incarnated. He learns all the 4 elements to maintain balance in the world, and yada yada yada. Korra kills Ko. I thought that would really happen, but I think we needed more Ko. We really did. We got 15 minutes of Ko, and he's like my favorite villain of all of Avatar. I love the way they wrote him too. He's not like this like I'm gonna destroy and conquer the world. No, he's all like calm and sadistic and all like almost satanic almost, and he's all like, oh really? Is that how you feel? Oh, you don't know. And he's helping Aang, but he's not really helping Aang. He's like kind of setting him up. I love that. We never got wanted more Ko. Demand more Ko. I hope we see more Aang too. It's kind of like the guardian spirit of Korra. Kind of like the way we got it with Roku and Aang in the first series. Play them off like that. More Aang, more Ko. Who else do we need? Do we need to see Yue again? I mean, do we really? Apparently my video is almost done, so we don't need to see any more Yue. I would love to see who the Sun Spirit is. That's something I want to see. Having Korra meet the Sun Spirit. Marshi Tong returns. Korra gets the kind of like the information about the first Air Nomads and the first Air Rangers. So yeah, this has been NBen24 signing off.